Well, back guys to Fog Football. Kris Boyd has been speaking a lot recently over the weekend, a lot to do with Rangers, but today, this video, it's to do with Celtic and Brendan Rodgers. So welcome back to Fog Football, ready to lay the smackdown this season. Did you enjoy the start to the season? Well, guess what? If you're an Aberdeen and Hearts fan, you'll be feeling alright on the subject. Well, may I say alright, Aberdeen don't really know what they've done in their pre-season. They're kind of the one team that no one's really kept an eye on. As for Hearts, well, we know they've picked up 4 big wins in the Premier Sports Cup. We'd expect Hearts to do that, folks, right? I'm not going to sit here and say, ho, absolutely unreal from the Jambos. But the reality is they've done what they set out that they thought they would be doing. And to me, what I thought they need to do, they needed to replicate what Aberdeen done for me last season. No European football for Hearts, right? They need to take advantage of that. They need to get a good start to the campaign. And the best case of doing that is a home victory against Aberdeen later on tonight. But regardless, that's for later on. Well, the Jambo better be a happy man. Make sure to tune in, because by God does he hate Aberdeen. But Kris Boyd, let's dive into his comments, or let's hear them, and then I'll react to them.
Rodgers obviously got a lot of traction for his interview the other day there, and he's probably looking at it saying that he does need to tone it down. There's no way that Brendan Rodgers will look at that performance and think it was at the level of what it should be. It's the first game of the season. Celtic have got 3 points. You can't knock that. But you're used to seeing Celtic destroy teams. The pace, the wide areas, the creating of opportunities. And I know you speak about Celtic hitting the bar, or the post, 3 or 4 times. But it wasn't as if it was. Ida's one, the save. The one that comes flicking up, and then it hits Shamal George. Yes, it hits the bar, but it was luck that it got there. Celtic, in terms of the opportunities you're used to seeing them create, it wasn't there today.
Now, I think that's an interesting thing that Boyd pointed out at the start of this interview. Is Brendan Rodgers obviously revealed the other day that they need to make more signings, and maybe he won't be the man. It was the bombshell interview. It was this. It was that. Do we think that Kris Boyd has hit the nail on the head here? Has Brendan Rodgers toned it down? Because we've listened to the post-match interview from Rodgers, right? And it doesn't really sound like a guy all that frustrated with his squad. He hinted at, we dominated, it should have been 3 or 4. Could Celtic have scored 3 or 4? Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, no, it was 1-0 and they played absolutely horrendous and, they were lucky to get away with it, right? They deserved it in the end. I wouldn't mean it. Well, yeah, it's a lucky goal that they scored, but if one team deserved to win that game, it was Celtic. I think St Mirren were worthy of a point. I thought they defended it really well. But reality is, in the wide areas, look how bad Celtic are, man. Apart from Dyson Maeda, who have you got? Yeah, Jota's Bobby back from injury, but Yang, Forrest, they really are tragic. We all know the thoughts on Big Adam up front, and I feel like with each passing game that he plays, the more people that are joining the Jambo Bear side, of just burying this guy. He's no cut out for it. He scores goals, right? But he scores goals the same way Cyril Dessers scored goals, right? See, if you play up front for Celtic, you're going to score goals. See, you play up front for Rangers, you're going to score goals. Well, unless your name's Danilo, right? You just won't for whatever reason. But anyway, you're going to score goals because you're starting up front with the amount of chances. See with the amount of domination, especially Celtic, right? Because Rangers don't dominate as many games as Celtic, but see the amount of times Celtic players will just score tap-ins from rebounds because they're just bombarding the opposition team, and the goalie will just hit it out. And no wonder Adam Adea picks up goals. And that's not me saying that every goal he scores is like a 1-yard tap-in, right? Because even tap-ins, you got to make the right movement. You got to do this, you got to do that. But he has scored from distance. But the reality is, man, anyone who's got a wee bit about them, who's a striker of half-decent level, is going to score goals up front for Celtic. And he's just nowhere near the level of a Kyogo. Nowhere near it. Will Celtic be looking to move him on? I think they would if the right bid came in, but they're never going to recoup what they bought him for, which it was a panic buy last year. But, of course, Rangers can't compound it, didn't have the capabilities to. Imagine if Rangers won the league last year. Yeah, imagine hypothetical FC. I can hear the comments getting typed away, but the reason why Celtic can get away with wasting money on Big Adam is because there's no one there to punish them. You think it's bad enough him getting it in the neck over not being good enough in certain games. Imagine if you added that in. If Celtic lost the league, it would be insane. And they need a striker. Johnny Kenny. Yeah, I've defended Johnny Kenny. Jambo Bear not so much, but I've actually defended Johnny Kenny on this channel, saying that he probably should get a run. He hasn't really got a run. He got 10 minutes a day, but why not start Johnny Kenny? Johnny Kenny scored more goals in pre-season than Big Adam, has he not? Pretty sure he has. Moving on to the other stuff that Boyd talked about. He's right. I mean, it wasn't that good from wide positions, and that's where they need strength. I thought from Dyson Maida's perspective, all that was really missing was like the final touch. He went round the goal in the first half and did a cross instead of shooting. Last minute of the game, he could make it 2-0. I mean, it is a great bit of defending from St Mirren, but at the end of the day, Dyson Maida has his shooting boots on the day. He probably gets 2 or 3. He didn't, but he's so good. Even with foot, like how dangerous he is with foot. Last season he had at the end product, but even without the end product, the guy's still been great for Celtic over the years. But last year he had at the end product. You look on the right hand side, man. Yang will never be it. And if you were a Celtic fan going into the season with Yang and James Forrest as your right mids, no wonder you're worried. But we'll have to wait and see, man. Far from an ideal start to the season for me. But reality is, for Hibs and Celtic, they've both won. And later on tonight, like we've said, we'll see what happens with Hearts and Aberdeen. It'll be an interesting game nonetheless. Someone will probably be hurting, but tell you what, man, if I'm going into a review show or going into next weekend with Rangers sitting on 1 point and Hibs, Aberdeen and Celtic all sitting on 3, what a shitey start to the season that is.